there's a little... Hello, fine people of the interweb world. It's your favorite abandoned warehouse Sarah here with another car review. And today I have the 2021 Hyundai Veloster N DCT, which means this has the brand new 8-speed wet dual clutch gearbox in it. First things first, it is weird seeing a review of a Veloster N on YouTube. That is not performance blue. This one is black. It also comes in red and chalk white, which is new for 2021, but I will say this, Hyundai needs to add at least 2 more colors to the Veloster N, 2 bold in-your-face colors, kind of like performance blue. This car deserves it. I appreciate the red accents here though on the side, and it carries on to the side skirts, as well as it does have vents on this front bumper you can shove your whole hand into. It's warm. It's aggressive aero. You still get the same pretty LED dual daytime running lights along with the LED projector low beams and halogen high beams. No longer is the performance pack an option on the Veloster N. It now comes standard, as it should be, because it was a no-brainer before to get the performance pack. Basically what that included was a bump and 25 horsepower, active exhaust, variable suspension, electronic limited slip differential, as well as these 2-pot front brake calipers have the little ends painted on them because fancy. These absolutely fire 5-spoke 19-inch wheels wrapped in 235/35 Pirelli P0 tires and a bunch of other stuff that I can't include into this breath. It was a lot. I never even noticed that before. There's a letter N stamped into the side skirt and there's little vents right here also. That is so cute. Just in case some of you are new and have never seen a Veloster before, the passenger side has 2 doors, whereas the driver's side only has 1, which makes this thing a 3-door hatchback for 4-door hatchback, I think. You know, people give the Civic Type R a lot of shit for having crazy styling, but the Veloster N is clearly a back end that you either love or hate. I don't think there's a middle ground with this car. I am of the camp that loves it. I like the taillights, they're exotic looking, and the rear wing kind of looks like a rear diffuser, but upside down on the roof. The Civic Type R didn't get a pass on this, and Hyundai's not getting one either. It's fake carbon, not necessary. This is cute. They hide the button under the wiper to open your hatch, and a useful hatch at that. This thing is deep. You can fit a bunch of groceries in there, and there's 2 thumpy boys hidden off to the side. It's good size for how small the car is. The changes they made to the interior for the 21 Veloster N, hands down, are the best updates this car got. Watch the little letter N on the seat behind me. Yeah, it just illuminated when I opened the door. It's a baby blue color. Can't really tell on camera. I've never in my life seen a car before with illuminated seats, so big win. Plus they're 4.4 pounds lighter per seat than the outgoing seat from last year. Hello, welcome to the back seat. Legroom's not too bad though. I am wearing heels, so that raises my knees and it puts them near the vents back here. And bolstering wise, it's tight. You're not going anywhere in these seats. The seat belt's in here, performance blue, and got your little paddles on the steering wheel. Now, yes, there are a lot of hard plastics in here, but so doesn't the GTI, and I like the interior in the GTI. I think it kind of makes sense in a car like this because it's not a luxury car. You don't care about that stuff. You care about how it performs. Does the N light up? No, it doesn't, but that would be cute if this did. I know these pass-throughs are supposed to be for a 5-point harness, but I can't help but think of the things you could do in the back seat if you want to be annoying and creepy. Like, smell the person's hair in the front seat. I almost passed out doing that. Or if they have long hair and they're sitting up front, you could pull their hair through here quietly and then tie it in a knot so when they go to get out of the car, oh, you'll get punched in the face for sure. Unlike the Civic Type R I recently reviewed, this has an old school Rip-It style e-brake. Such a fan of that. You have no idea how much that makes a difference in a car, I think. If the seats illuminate in here, everything better be LED. Yes. Oh, what? There's a button on the vanity mirror light. That's incandescent. There's not really anything in the back seat other than 2 cup holders for 2 penguins and 2 butt holders for 2 back seat people. No USBs. There's a gripper, a speaker. Well, that's a back seat. All right, bye. You stay back here, penguin. All right, Let's start this thing up. Thank you, seatbelt helper robot. Press this N button, make it get louder. There we go. That right there is what the Civic Type R is missing from the factory. All right, as far as drive modes, gauges, and infotainment system goes, the biggest change for 2021 is the standard 8-inch tablet-like touchscreen display that does have factory navigation, as well as the menu system in here. Hands down my favorite out of any vehicle I've ever reviewed because it's so cute. Like the fact that I'm on the radio stations and it's like one of those little tubes from the olden days that have the numbers illuminating, and I wasn't alive back then, so give me some room here. I don't know what they're called. As well as it also has factory ambient sounds. What are the other ones? Calm sea waves, rainy days, open air cafe, warm fireplace, snowy village. That is so crazy. It really sounds like you're walking in snow. And then on your infotainment system over here, you do have your G-force gauge as well as your lap timer, performance timer. You have your turbo boost pressure, torque, oil temp, and then you can select performance options. Inside there, you can set the RPM for your launch control, your shift indicator, N track sense shift, which you can read what it says on the screen yourself. It's kind of a cool feature, as well as N power shift. And on top of all that, this thing comes chock full of a bunch of safety acronyms standard. Let's take this thing for a rip. So something I haven't mentioned yet that this thing has is another little feature on the steering wheel called N grin shift. And when you push this little button down here, it gives you 20 seconds of overboost, which brings the torque from 260 up to 278, but only for 20 seconds. Oh yeah, you definitely notice more torque with this on. Holy shit. Yeah, this makes this car a different animal. God, this car's a beast, dude. I know the Civic Type R is faster in a straight line, but this, how is this not faster on a track? I guess it depends on the track. Brakes are awesome. I haven't gotten any fade out of them, and I've been into them quite a bit. I don't know which I liked better, this or the Type R on a back road. It's a pretty tough call. Seriously. And then there's a little on the decel. This car's got a lot more personality than the Type R. It's not as fast in a straight line, but it has loads of personality. Ooh, it's that heavy hood. Hello, welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. Under the hood of the Veloster N is Hyundai's 2.0 GDI 4-cylinder that produces 275 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque at 1,450 RPM. That's nice and low. A lot of grunt down there. I like it. Well, those things in the garage, might as well snoop around a little bit more. I want to see what's underneath this engine cover, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. Ooh, these things are really tight. There you go. There you go. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not that bad looking under here. I figured it'd be a mess of vacuum lines and wires. Plastic valve cover, got some little coil packs right there. Plastic intake manifold. It's pretty simple looking. Diagnostics, what, OBD2 isn't enough? Interesting. This actually looks really fun to work on. I would like to do stuff to this. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. It's already in N mode, but I'm going to tap the paddle on the steering wheel, the checkered flag again. And then it asks me to hold it down for 3 seconds, which fully defeats traction control. Now it's an N custom. And inside here, you can configure everything individually. And on top of that, if you just select one of them and go to details, it explains to you what you're doing. This reminds me of playing a racing game. This does have launch control, which may or may not be utilized at an activated RPM of 3100 RPM. Ready? Get it. Oh my goodness, surges every time it shifts. Okay, that's good enough. I don't know which is faster, this or the 6-speed manual. Because the shifts are like that on this thing, but it does weigh a little bit more. Hello, I'm back. The drivetrain found in this Veloster N is Hyundai's new in-house designed Delta 8 Foxtrot 48 Whiskey wet dual clutch gearbox. I would insert a clip of it, but it's kind of buried under a giant airbox and battery, and I think Hyundai would frown upon me taking the car apart. Of course, it does have an electronic limited slip differential, but it's nice that they're now offering this because it makes it a true competitor for the GTI, which offers both a traditional 6-speed manual and a dual clutch gearbox. Now, I already have reviewed the 6-speed manual version of this. There's a link up above to that video if you guys missed it. But I will say this, there is a slight downfall when choosing this dual clutch gearbox because of the fact that it weighs 141 pounds more than the 6-speed manual version, which is approximately 63 kilograms? 64? All right, it's time for the braking test. No one behind me? Oh my God. I felt my cheeks getting ripped off my face. I know a lot of people will criticize this car because it doesn't have the pedigree of Honda or Volkswagen or Ford when it comes to making hot hatches, but I don't think that's a genuine reason to criticize because of the fact that Hyundai obviously is listening to the enthusiasts and giving them what they want, which a lot of automotive manufacturers have been failing to do lately. It makes a great daily driver when you fully neuter everything and put it into the softest setting and then put it in eco, gets great fuel efficiency. The suspension does soften up quite a bit when you do that. However, I notice if you keep it in any of the other modes and just turn suspension down on its own, it still feels kind of harsh. I don't know what else to say other than this car is awesome. And I'm so glad I reviewed it again. So if you guys have never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them. Starting with the bean score, it is a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And the 21 Veloster N with the dual clutch gearbox is getting a rating of 2 beans. Well, it does feel just a smidge slower in a sense than the 6-speed manual version because it is heavier. It makes up for it with how fast the shifts are, so it kind of balances it out. Next up is the cookie score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend, and this thing's got a shitload of them because it's getting a rating of 4.8 cookies. It's almost a perfect score because of the fact that I feel the 6-speed manual version is worth the savings, and that right there would be 5 cookies, easy. It's incredible value for what you're getting right here in this car. Lastly is the penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And the Veloster N is getting a rating of 5 penguins. Still to this day, the Veloster N is one of my favorite vehicles I've ever reviewed. It's incredible what you get for the money, and I love that there's so many weird, unique things about it that separate it from every other car out there. Like the whole door thing that's going on here. I mean, I'm always torn between a 3-door and a 5-door hatch. Solved. And then they have so much attention to detail and performance features and just things to make the car cute and fun. And I think it's well built too. Hyundai's killing it when it comes to this little hot hatch. Or if you don't want to call it a hot hatch, because I guess the i30N technically would be the hot hatch, but we don't get that in America. It's a hot weirdo, and I like it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye.